Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. I don't know why I had the extra screen on there. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. I'm here to give you the weekend and reality reviews. And up right now is the Love and Marriage Huntsville season 3 reunion part 1. This is a great reunion. Overall, I'm happy they spent part 1 going over all the old shit that we didn't really get to the bottom to. Season 1, season 2. We got Mel and Martel asses on out the way. We done got Kimmy and her side piece or not on out the way. So maybe part 2 and 3 we can dig into this season because there's still a lot of questions I want answered. But up first, we have to talk about the looks. Let's get into it. This is what everyone looks like at the reunion. For the most part, what is this? 60% of the cast looks good, or 63.3. Two-thirds of the cast look good. Let's get into it individually. Up first, the host, who I think amazing. Carlos, you need to host this every year going forward. And matter of fact, every show you produce, you need to host and hold these people's feet to the fire. I like Carlos. I think this is a beautiful color, turquoise. The suit is cut great. And I like the no tie look. I think this bright color with just a white shirt, no tie, no bow tie looks amazing. Up next, we have Melody. Mel, if you all see right here at this pointy piece, it seems like a piece of the fabric is lifting away from the point, like right there. That aggravated me all night. But for the most part, Melody was best dressed, hands down. I love Mel's dress. I love her hair. I love her makeup. She got it together because Mel is good for putting on a bad wig. Martel looks tight. I mean, that button right there is getting ready to pop at any second. I don't like when he does these oversized bow ties. I think the shade of blue with the navy blue is a beautiful color. But Martel, just go up one side, a half a size. Just let the seams out a half an inch, and your looks would look so much better if they weren't so tight. Tisha, this ain't Tisha, but Kimmy and Maurice, they complement each other so well. I like how she has on this very sexy sequence red gown. I like the hair. I love the makeup. I feel like the blush contour was a little bit too harsh, Kimmy. It was just a little fraction too harsh. But I love how Maurice just has on a simple gray suit, but his little flower boutonniere thing is the same shade of red as her dress. So they complement each other. They look amazing together. I love the look. The fools of the episode are Tisha and Marceau. Marceau just has on a black suit. It ain't nothing wrong with what Marceau has on, but Tisha, let me tell you something. Your husband doesn't like you. Kimmy and Mel don't like you. You saw the person who styled that foolish ass wig, kept his face off the camera, because that wig is a fool. If you saw my Twitter, I said a fool will be a fool, and that wig is a fool. I don't know. I know you were probably going for something back in the 50s, back when our grandmothers used to wear that little hump in the back of their head. But that shit is ugly. It doesn't match this outfit. This is not a 1950s dress. The dress is ugly. It's nothing else to say but ugly. You look like a feathery traffic cone. It's no other way to describe it. That's not your color. That's not your look. We've seen you look so much better, Tisha. You fall from trying to outshine by doing too much when you should do less. Less is best. And for the most part 1 of the reunion, Lord, how I take this picture off here. Okay, back to me. I can't talk about nobody with my hair looking like this, but y'all, I'm going to the gym. That's why I ain't putting no effort in, no hair or makeup or no glam, because I'm just getting ready to sweat it all out in an hour. when I get through with my training. But back to the episode. I'm happy part one focused on the original cast and focused on getting the questions that are super old out the way. So, the first thing we talk about, I took a couple of notes, but I'm gonna get through this fast. Tisha is no longer gonna be on Twitter. She can't stand the comments. She can't take the heat. Girl, I know you weren't on Twitter after getting on TV with your wig looking like that. I know you got off the comments for that. Girl, a feathery traffic cone. Next, he wants to know who has regrets, if Mel and Martel regret doing the show. Melody says no, she doesn't have any regrets because this show has opened up so many doors. She's been granted so many opportunities businessly, with her career in entertainment. So she doesn't regret it. Martel says he does regret it. He says, he didn't say that. I wrote that in my notes. I said Martel regrets doing the show because he can no longer cheat in peace. And by cheating in peace, not saying that Melody wasn't in his ear, but he didn't have all the social media in his ear looking at him, what he doing, cheating, everybody in Huntsville spraying his business. You know, he can no longer cheat in peace. His cheating is now on a national level. He said he did the show for Mel. He said the show ruined his family. And he said I be writing out shit. I don't know if he said it or not. I said without the show, he probably could have worked out the cheating in private. A part of that I agree with, because I feel like Mel, you this man was cheating on you years, not days, a moment, but years before you started filming this show, and you worked it out privately. Hell, you worked that shit out privately on TV and had a whole nother baby with his ass, with him cheating on the show. So I do kind of feel like Melody did it. Because if Mel would have stayed with his ass, it probably wouldn't have been a good look. Like, we would be looking at Melody sideways if she still would be with Martel to this day. But if she wasn't on TV, trust me, we all know about 2 or 3 women with their cheating ass, lying ass husbands and boyfriends that got a whole bunch of babies on the side, and they still with their cheating ass, lying asses to this day and don't have no plan on leaving. A lot of women find pride in being, well, I'm the wife and you the side bitch. You know, stupid shit like that. So we ain't gonna pretend like it doesn't happen on a daily basis. It's harder to sit through that when you are a main character on a popular reality show. It's hard to sit in that. So I kind of agree. I think Mel probably would have stayed with his ass, but oh well. Let's get over what I said. Marceau, they talk about the title of the show. I wonder what the original title was supposed to be. I saw that little special where they did pitch it as trying to be some flipping houses show. Marceau said he knew this show was going to be something else when he saw the name change. And I was like, if you knew it was going to be something else, you could have quietly exited out. You didn't have to continue. Nobody twisted your arm. And I'm like, why do you have a problem with the name Love and Marriage? Marceau is such an easy read. We know why Marceau has a problem being on a show called Love and Marriage. Anyway, we get to Maurice, and this is the question at hand that I really was happy that Carlos asked. Maurice, these people call your wife a side bitch, a side chick. They laugh and throw it in her face every time they get a chance, and you never say nothing. Why don't you defend your wife? Maurice came with some bullshit. That's like calling me an alien. And I'm sitting back looking at my TV like, no, sir, it's not. Like, that doesn't make sense. He's like, you could look at me. You could tell I'm not an alien. So everyone knows it's not possible for Kimmy to be a side chick. No, it ain't. When you're doing a TV show, it's not possible. Now, maybe Marceau, Tisha, The people in your family, your surroundings who know the timeline might be like, Kimmy wasn't no side piece. She ain't had nothing to do with breaking up that family. Okay, they know, but us in TV land, we don't know shit. And when you, the common denominator of if she's a side chick or not, who could squash it, you could just say, look, my wife was never a side chick. Stop saying that shit about her. If you would say that, it would squash it and we wouldn't have shit to laugh and joke about all these seasons. Now, mind you, they went through the timeline. Something about you got to wait 6 months to work out a divorce. I know every state is different. I don't know because I ain't never been through a divorce and I don't plan on filing for one. So I don't need to know the timeline out here in Tennessee. But whatever state he came from, I want to say Michigan, they had to wait 6 months, see if they could work it out, and then the ink will be dry on the paper. All I'm going to say is from what I heard, all it sounds like, and people do it every day, every night, every day of the week, somebody doing it right now. People are legally separated. They done filed for divorce. And they just waiting for the judge to sign off. Every state is different. Some states you got to wait 30 days. Some states you got to wait 6 months. I think it's even longer if you have kids because they want you to try to work it out for the kids. Whatever. Every state is different. So it just seemed like Maurice left Kiowa. And it sounded like Kyle was up there cheating because Maurice said it was something he can't forgive her for. And most men can't forgive women when they step out. So Maurice left Kiowa. He said ain't no going back. He then came down to Huntsville. He started hoeing. He finally settled down. He met Kimmy. He said, Kimmy, look, I got to wait this 6 months for my divorce to be finalized. Kimmy said, as long as it's filed, I know you getting ready to be divorced. Cool, we can date. It sounded like overlap. Just overlapping technicalities. Kimmy did not ruin this man's marriage. I'm so happy we deaded the issue. Now we can move on. So, at some point we get back to Mel and Martel. Martel says he is not a cheater at heart. Okay. So they want to know why, when we're in the middle of a pandemic, everything is closed but Ariana's legs. Everything is closed. Why are you stepping out your house? And he's like, oh, I was going to the gym. And I want to know the name of the gym because there's a 24-hour gym in my hometown, but during the pandemic, everything was closed. I want to know why in Huntsville, this one gym is allowed to be open. When I tell you, you couldn't go to a Walmart, a Target, Academy Sports, Dick's Sporting Goods. You couldn't go nowhere to find a piece of exercise equipment because every gym in the country was shut down. I want to know what one gym in little ass Huntsville was still open for Martel to go to. And why? And why? If your wife that you claim you love and cherish, which we know is bullshit, but why would you have a newborn baby? Are you out in the gym risking an unknown virus to come back in the house? And I love how Carlos was like, well, what else was open? Because it wasn't just a gym. No, it was legs, and we know it. And now he don't know his son's birthday. And I'm like, bitch, we all know it's January. We might not know the exact date, but we all know she had the baby in January, and we can all count back. That was right in March, April, March, she conceived. And then now he don't even know how Ariana got pregnant. Well, I was at the gym. I don't know how she got pregnant. So now it's not your baby. Like, stop playing in our faces. Stop playing in the faces. Like, you so quick to say what Melody did, who dick Melody sucked. Melody was out there cheating too. All of this, but you confused about a whole baby, living, breathing child with half of your DNA. You so confused about how that came about and what the baby birthday and everything else is. Let's move on. So now we got to go back to the timeline. A lot of this we heard before, but I think Melody wanted to really clear up the whole Marceau wanted me thing. Like, I ain't want him, and he ain't never did nothing to make me think he wanted me. Now we can kind of look at our TV screens and see that Marceau likes Mel, but let's move on to the facts at hand. We all heard about when Ariane called Mel and they got to fussing on the phone and all this. They had some huge fight. Seeing how they fight on this TV show, I can only imagine what kind of fights they had with no cameras going on. And you just found out your husband cheating on you. So, Mama Vanessa, called Marceau, which all of them worked together as Schultz or whatever. So they were all really cool at this time and said, Marceau, can you come get Martel, check on Mel, because they in here fighting. I need some help. So Marceau said he was calling everybody. Nobody was answering their phone. He finally got in touch with Mel and they met at Chick-fil-A to kind of calm her down, which all is up and up. At the whole time, Tisha is side-eyeing, but Tisha, get your securities together. So Martel brings up, but you asked my wife out for drinks. And Tisha was like, you asked her out for drinks? I ain't know nothing about no drinks. I heard about Chick-fil-A, but you telling me you was asking her out for a drink. Tisha, get your securities together. You making yourself look weak and insecure every time, every chance you get to be insecure, you let us see it. This ain't got shit to do with you. You know your husband. You might know your husband. But back to the situation at hand. Martel wants to throw this out as, you apologized to me for asking my wife out for drinks. I got a recording. I want Martel on part 2 or 3 of this reunion to bring out these receipts. You got all these recordings. Let us hear it, since you got all the facts. Marceau was like, look, I met her at the Chick-fil-A. I was trying to calm your wife down. I did ask her, look, calm down. You want to go get a drink? We could talk this out. She declined. Nothing happened of it. I don't want to give too much breath to it because I don't care. The next argument we had, we want to know if Melody was sucking dick in the marriage. Mind you, Melody said the first time she found out about Ariane, she got her little apartment, she took her kids, and they were separating. She didn't have no plans of going back to Martel. So she did have her little side piece on the side. She was still technically, she was married. Let's take the technicalities out. She was separated, but she was still married. And she was like, look, I told you, he performed it on me, and I told you about it. And so Martel's like, I got a recording where you said you did it to him too. If I was male, and I love this song by Summer Walker, Unloyal, call it what you want. That's what I would have told Martel. I did it, and I'll do it again. His was bigger than yours. That's why I had no problem doing it to him. I would have threw so many shots at Martel because guess what? Y'all are divorced. Why are we caring about who performed fellatio on who and when the ink is dry on y'all divorced? I wouldn't care about what happened within the marriage because the marriage is now over. The marriage was so toxic, full of cheatation, full of arguments and confusion. It is now over. Who cares what happened in the middle of all of that? It is done. I would have definitely told Martel, you can call it whatever you want. You can say I did whatever I want. It's over. If it makes you sleep better at night to know that I sucked this man dick, okay, I did it. Now have a good night's sleep and leave me alone. But see, that's Angie. That wasn't Mel. So they got to talking about Melanie needs to speak to some older women. I hate when men put like the old school women did this for their man, did that. We are not in 1940, 1950, even 1960. Most women, it is a fact and a statistic that most Black women, they're more highly educated than Black men. They have higher paying jobs than Black men. So we don't need you all. Like we needed you back in the 40s, in the 50s, when we didn't have that access to education and opportunities of employment. So a lot of what y'all call big mamas, grannies, whatever y'all want to call them, a lot of them put up with a lot of bullshit. Papa being the Rolling Stone and all that shit, because as long as the man was taking care of his household, most women didn't give a fuck because they couldn't afford to leave. But see, women today, we can afford to leave. We ain't got to put up with your bullshit. And that's why it's Alabama. I used to live in Alabama. I went to Alabama State. I've dated plenty of Alabama men. A lot of them have that backwards ass way of thinking. And they need to progress. They need to progress. But it's just sad to hear them say these kind of things like, oh, you need to talk to an old woman. And so she could tell you to stay with your man and let him cheat and do everything. Like, why do I need to hear that? Why do I need somebody to tell me, like Wanda, to be in some toxic bullshit when I could do this shit on my own? I really wish Mel could find her a judge that'll say you could take them kids to Atlanta and Martel got to drive up every other weekend and get them. I really hate that she's stuck in Huntsville because of them kids, but let's move on. Last question of the night. Carlos asked the messiest question. If you would have met Ariane before you met Mel, would you have married her? Because Carlos called Ariane the whole meal, like you love her, whatever. Whatever. Something does have to be said about staying with one woman to cheat with for 5 years and not just cheat with any and everybody in Huntsville. But I will answer for Martel, no. Martel married Melody because he knew he found a good thing in Melody, as in someone who was smarter than him, who was able to get this builder's license. He could build a great life with. He can't do that shit with Ariane because Ariane is the type of woman that's looking for the decades. You see, Martel had to buy Ariane a Lexus. Martel had to buy or pay for her rent. She putting up with his shit because she can't do it on her own. Which I thought she was a nurse, so girl, why couldn't you? But anyway, moving on. The show went silence and we gotta wait till next week. Next week we gonna see what Destiny have on. Destiny, I can't tell because they only showed a quick little flip and I can't find a picture of her dress nowhere on Instagram. I can't tell if her corset is extra tight or did she get a BBL because Destiny look hella thick by the hips. But we shall see next week. We get to see Tiffany and Lewis. I got a picture of Tiffany and Lewis, but they look a mess. Not worse than Tisha, but a mess. We get to see Lewis and Marceau get into it a little bit. I kind of want to see what they getting into it about. And then I'm like, when is it Tisha turn? When we gonna read Tisha and Wanda down? That must be part 3. But anyway, that's it. I'm getting ready to do Portia's Family Matters really quick because, like I said, I gotta go to the gym in a few minutes. So if you want to tune into that live, I will be going up for that in about 10 seconds. And thank you all so much for watching this. Please get in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this great part 1 of Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion. Go ahead and like the video. And if this is your first time with Angie, Kiss My Cheeks TV, go ahead and hit subscribe. I do all the reality shows and reality competition shows. And I hope you will come back. And I will see you later. Bye.